Chapter 23. Tremendous Might. Callista's knees threatened to buckle as the impact of Mordred's blade on hers nearly drove her into the ground. The warmth flooded back to her eyes, the warmth of Callie lending her some of her own holy strength. We knew this wouldn't be an easy fight, but steel yourself because you aren't fighting alone. Looking up, Callista eyed Clover in the air above, sending a powerful torrent of black flames into Mordred. The flames turned the ground beneath them to glass, yet the heat left her untouched. Mordred turned to face the flames that engulfed him. Callista saw the armor-clad man raise his sword skywards and knew she had to take the opportunity to strike. Callista swung Callie towards Mordred's midsection. The radiant golden light erupted from the weapon, sandwiching Mordred between attacks of black and gold. Mordred swung his blade, sending a wave of red light at her and Clover, knocking both several yards away. As she slid, barely blocking the energy attack with her sword, she caught a glimpse of the world above. The tower where Viardin and Morgan were fighting on had been engulfed by a black mist. "I'm sure he is all right. Keep your head in the present." Callista had barely digested Callie's words before Morgan was before her, sending Herculean swing down at her. But in a flash of black, Clover blocked the strike.
"Head out of the clouds and back to Earth, please,"
Clover demanded. The shaking of his knees implied he couldn't hold up any better than she had. Callista ran behind Mordred, sending another swing bathed in golden light at him. "I was just checking up on your boyfriend," Callista said in frustration, as Mordred grabbed the blade of her sword and threw her at Clover, leaving them as a tangled heap.
"He can take care of himself. Now get off of me,"
Clover groaned. Hopping to her feet, Callista, as the ear-shattering sound of an explosion overtook all her senses, followed by large pieces of rubble raining down around them. Throwing Callie into the air, she took on the form of the massive flaming bird. There was a moment of silence before Callie blew out a Sizely barrage of golden fireballs, each fireball strategically blowing up a piece of rubble that would fall on either her or Clover. A rush of air greeted Callista as Mordred ran through the rainstorm of stones, leaping at her. Terror filled Callista as she rolled aside to avoid him. "Why is he focusing so much on me?" Callista bellowed as Callie returned to her sword form in Callista's grip, just in time for Callista to defend against another of Mordred's swings. "If I were to guess, it is because you resemble Arthur the most." Callista cursed her blonde hair as she gritted her teeth against the assault. A flash of obsidian shined from behind Mordred as Clover again bathed the man in flames. Callista took the moment of distraction from Mordred to jump back, away from the man with a seemingly endless well of stamina and durability. From above them, Callista saw an ocean of blackened lightning coming for them. But before she could move a muscle, Viardin appeared in front of them. The Fae looked tired, but his barrier protected them from the dark electricity that began to collect as a sphere before Viardin, his black butterflies swarming around them and Mordred.
"Viardin!"
Clover cried, before the butterflies dispersed, leaving them high in the sky above a nondescript city Callista had never seen before. Callista swung Callie, sending a wave of gold at Mordred, knocking him a large distance away, hoping to land a fair distance away from him. Glancing at Clover, Callista saw him sending several black fireballs down to the world below. "Clover, what are you doing?" she yelled, as Callie took the form of a large bird once more, just below Callista.
"None of them hit anyone. We need those people to run for the hills to avoid casualties, because we can't save them if Mordred goes after them,"
Clover said, as he flapped his wings to slow his descent. A look to the skyscraper Mordred had fallen through made Callista wish she had thought as far ahead as Clover. Callista hopped off of Callie's back as she returned to her sword form, looking to Clover as he too landed in the middle of the street. Callista watched the building that Mordred had crashed into. She watched the sea of people rushing out of the building and into the streets. She wondered what they thought was going on. Surely it was less absurd than the reality of the situation, but none of the people stopped to care what she or Clover were up to. No care for their well-beings, just fear as they fled for their lives.
Should I collapse the building?
Clover asked after the flow of people had slowed to a stop. There could still be people in there, Callista said. If people died because of her short-sightedness of sending Mordred hurtling into their place of work, she wouldn't be able to forgive herself.
Right. Good thinking.
She knew Clover was humoring her. She knew trying to crush Mordred with the full bulk of the towering skyscraper was probably the correct move, but the wrong one for her conscience. He's coming. Callie's tone was one of concern. Concern that Callista felt intensify as Mordred walked out of the building with little more than a few scuffs on his armor.
Gotta admit, I was hoping for a broken arm or something.
Clover said, aiming a nervous smile at her. She felt the same as Clover. This wasn't like fighting the Hydra. Against the Hydra, they could make headway. Mordred seemed nearly invincible. She wondered how Arthur could have harmed a monster like this. It's the armor. Callista barely breathed.
Care to share with the class?
Clover asked, watching Mordred's relaxed swagger. It's his armor that's making him so durable. Maybe there's a spell on it. Or maybe it's a magical relic, Callista shouted to Clover. She didn't know how they would strip him of his armor, but it gave them a place to work from.
Incorrect.
Fafnir's voice intruded in their minds like claws on a chalkboard. Then explain why our attacks aren't hurting him, Callista challenged.
You are indeed correct that the armor is what is granting him such invulnerability. But it isn't a magical artifact. It's durable because it is made of dragon scales.
Fafnir's words sounded honest. Callista couldn't sense any deception from their makeshift bond, yet he had lied to Clover without him being alerted to it once.
How would you know that?
Clover's words were oozing with resentment and distrust.
Because it was forged from my scales. They must have acquired them after my vessel was slain by Surgerd.
Clover seemed to be in a trance, staring into space.
He's telling the truth. He's mad about it. Really mad.
Clover finally said, looking at Callista. This didn't really help us figure out how to get his armor off, Callista said, readying had Mordred stopped in front of them.
We'll just have to figure that out on the fly. Can't really get cold feet now.
Clover flapped his wings, speeding behind Callista to intercept Mordred, who slacked him away like a fly, sending Clover crashing into the building that Mordred had just exited. Clover! Callista yelled, blocking a series of mighty swings from Mordred. During his single-handed onslaught, Mordred held his free hand out towards the building, and its base began to crack and shift uncomfortably, until the building fell in on itself, most likely crushing her friend. You can't! Callista screamed as her defense became an anger-fueled offense, her blocks quickly becoming a furious series of swings. You never told me he could use magic! Callista yelled, as her assault forced Mordred to take a step back. I didn't know. He never displayed that talent during his time as a Knight of the Round. Callie's words did little to quell the inferno of Callista's anger for Clover, a rage that climaxed in a final swing bathed in gold, a wing whose force was followed by a symphony of shattering windows for miles. The intensity of this swing forcing Mordred ankles deep into the concrete. The fault is mine, though. I knew he was the son of Morgan Le Fay, but the thought he might have inherited more than her hair color never crossed my mind. Pain exploded in Callista's gut as Mordred drove his fist into her stomach, the punch sending her flying into a stop sign that bent backwards, leaving Callista crumpled up on the ground, pain reverberating from every cell in her body. Ow! Callista wasn't sure if the expression was mental to Callie or verbal to herself. All she knew is that she hurt. "Callista, above you!" Hopping to her feet, Callista moved back as Mordred crashed down in front of her, and with an upward swing, Excalibur's blade knocked Mordred's helmet up and off of his head. A loud clanging sound reverberated through the overly quiet block as the handsome face and black hair of the man within was revealed. The face of the man she had seen in Callie's memories. Callista felt empathy for the man trapped inside his own body, a tool for his mother to use. "Callista," Callie said in warning. "Mordred, please, if you're in there, you're hurting people. We can help you. My friend Virden is already working to help you." She knew the odds were slim, but as unrealistic as it seemed. But if she didn't try, she didn't know if she could forgive herself. Mordred's slow stride towards her didn't slow, didn't waver. No true feelings showed through the veil of rage Morgan had gifted him as his inheritance. "Please, you don't have to fight anymore. You can live the way Arthur taught you. I saw it. I saw how happy you were. You made mistakes, but so does everyone," Callista said as the man approached her and raised a hand. She wanted to save him, to save everyone. This poor boy didn't deserve to face an ultimatum of either killing everyone or dying himself. "Callista, defend yourself!" "Mordred, what would Arthur think?" Callista didn't heed Callie's words, but she did feel the sadness behind them. The fear another she loved would die trying to save this lost child. And as Mordred's hand struck her, sending her crashing through the concrete wall of a building, Callista shared her worries. "Callista, wake up, Callista!" Callista opened her eyes in response to Callie's words. She felt warmth trickling down her face. Whatever pain she had been in mere moments ago was nothing compared to what she was currently experiencing. A white-hot agony so intense she briefly wondered if this was what hell felt like. Standing, Callista disregarded the pain because the pain she endured didn't compare to a fraction of what Mordred or Clover had went through. The pain she always saw beneath the surface when Clover looked at her. The tears Mordred shed when his mother's spell directed him to attack her. She couldn't buckle when they had met such fiercer adversity and continued to fight. "Callista, you need to run." Callista smiled as Callie's words flowed through her still foggy mind. She could run, but what kind of heroine would that make her? A heroine who flees instead of running towards people in need to help? Wouldn't be a very compelling character in those fairy tales she loved so much growing up. The very ones her father read to her. As Mordred again approached, Callista summoned Callie to her hand once more. She wouldn't kill him, not with the sorrow in his eyes, or the tears painting his face in remorse. "I know you're not in control, and I won't kill you. But I also won't let you kill anyone else. We can endure this battle until my friend Virden finishes his business and comes to save you," Callista said, showing the best smile she could. If she couldn't save Mordred, she knew Virden could, and that left holding him at bay as her mission. Taking a deep breath, she blocked a tremendous strike of Mordred's sword. She hoped Clover was all right, hoped Virden was winning, and hoped he would be here soon.